Dream visions fulfilling. Greetings and trust you are well. I pray and ask you all to join me in prayer night and day for the nation. Join me, my brothers and sisters, in praying to the Almighty to awaken our spirits once more. In this video, I want to discuss a few dream visions which are beginning to play out. The insight came to me last week how they are playing out, and last night I had so many insights about many things which I wrote about and things which the seer mentioned in his visions. I am going to play the video clips from when they were recorded last year, February 2020. You can see them playing out. I hope this video will not be too long, but I will include it here. Listen to the words carefully in the video about the dream vision. Consider the fact that when I had the dream vision, there was not a single country in lockdown. There was no mandating of masks or any social distancing.
Recent message dreams. Over the past 2 weeks I have had message dreams and have not put them up. These message dreams were weak. They were not as clear as my other message dreams, but after much debating whether I should put them up, I have decided to do so. The reason is because I cannot get him out of my head. I have noticed that if I do not get him out of my head and onto video or blog form, they keep swirling around my head and I remember them clearly. I also notice if I do not put him up, then I do not have the next batch of message dreams. The first message dream I had was on the 31st of January 2020. I believe it is this day, and the same with all these other message dreams. I cannot remember the specific days and dates, but they have occurred over the past 7 to 10 days. First dream. Turkey shaking. This dream I had about Turkey seemed to go on the entire night. The entire night I saw Turkey shaking violently. Turkey is going to shaking violently. Its vibration is changing to war mode and is about to explode any day or month. It will enter full war mode. The shaking I saw was it was beating the war drum. It was getting prepared to explode. America and China are at war in this dream. I saw how after this recent outbreak of this virus in China, the carnivorous, that America and China would be at war. I saw how this virus was a war weapon to slow the Chinese down. This is confirmed to me in the next dream I had. This carnivorous will unleash a war, and I saw China retaliate against America, and it will at first be low-key, below the radar. It will be a tit for tat at first. America will realize it is a covert war, but China will no longer not retaliate. I saw China launching attacks on American soil, and I saw a virus being released on America soil by the Chinese. Third message dream. Global economy. This dream again muddled, not as clear as the previous dreams put on this channel, but it nonetheless a message dream. This time I saw that if this carnivorous outbreak did not occur, there would have been a global collapse. I saw that this virus is being released to slow the global economy and keep it from collapsing. It will slow the global economy for a short period of time, but I was shown that the global economy was about to collapse before this virus was unleashed, and that this virus is going to slow down economies and keep the system afloat for a while longer. We are now 24 days away from March 2020. My message dream told me in 2019 that the chains in March 2020 come undone for the nation, the Afrikaner, the white nation of South Africa. The chains are about to come undone. I do not know when in March, but I was told and shown this my angel, a messenger, in the dream. Each day is now a countdown. I am eagerly awaiting some event where the Portuguese soldiers show up in the Cape and Northern Cape. Some event will bring them here as mentioned. Big things are going to happen this year around the world. This is the year of everything, and many of what Van Rensburg spoke about we will see coming to fruition now.
Famine hits the world. You South Africa, you Boers, you Afrikaner and English farmers will be a last beacon of hope. It is through this vision and dream vision that you will be at the forefront of the God's plan for his people. Through your preparation, through you being told this vision before the world hears about it, you will be in a position to plan. Like Joseph in Egypt, who told Pharaoh about the coming famine, so you have been told about the famine. It is your duty to feed the flock and prepare. The Almighty did not only show me that there would be a massive global famine, but I was shown what the signs would be. There are 2 signs. The first sign is an increase in price of sugar and wheat. When you begin to see that sugar and wheat begin to increase in price, you are at the start of the famine. When the price of sugar and wheat begin to rise, there is another sign. The second sign. The second sign is that when wheat and sugar increase in price, look at the other commodities. I saw the other commodities, all of them. Every single listed commodity, I saw them to begin to rise in price. Sugar and wheat will lead in price increases, and as soon as they rise, a commodity boom will begin to take place. I saw on the price chart that as sugar and wheat rise in price, soon the currencies, your money, will not be able to keep up with the inflation which is coming. People will not be able to afford food. This could very well play into what I heard about Japan's economy is about to crash. Japan is an importer nation which relies on commodities. If commodities increase in value, the Japanese economy will suffer. So to you, dear nation, I bring this message. You are the first to hear it, you are the first to prepare for it. Through you shall the blessings be poured out onto the other nations, and many of the nation's former enemies will become your subjects. The global famine is going to hit. You have been given a sign: wheat and sugar prices. Prepare, you have a head start. I have a feeling the famine will last between 2 and 4 years and possibly longer. For those of you who do not have a farm, I suggest you do not plant roses or any exotic flowers. Prepare, buy seed. If you have a large yard, stock up on chickens, and if you have some small holding, prepare. This is going to be on a global scale. It will be the same famine of Russia and Ukraine, but will be throughout the world. I was thinking after the dream, why would sugar or wheat become so expensive? You see the video where it mentions Turkey preparing for full-scale war. We see this with the Azerbaijan war start to play out. That war was inspired by Turkey, and the Azerbaijanis were supplied by the Turks for that war, and what is unfolding now in that region, and we can see that Armenia was not the target. We can see how this is beginning to play out with Iran. I then saw a flash, an insight of Russian tanks crossing line by line, long line formations through Constantinople. This is the fulfillment of the seer's vision about Russia storming Turkey. We can now see how the original dream vision of the Turk preparing for war was all part of this build-up. With what takes place between Iran, Turkey, Azerbaijan and Pakistan is going to provoke Russia. Russia is now going to see Turkey's real intentions. Now you can see why Constantinople was never retaken back by Europe, for it is for God's purposes and what lies ahead, for if it had been taken, then Russia would not storm through Turkey. It is all part of God's glorious plan. I mentioned in 2019 that Pakistan would be working with Turkey, and we see that now fulfilling, along with the reports of Pakistan aiding Turkey in Azerbaijan. So this is about to play out fully, and things are moving very fast. We can see that the escalation of China and America is picking up. This is exactly what I saw in the dream vision. China will no longer sit on the sidelines but will retaliate, and this is what we are seeing in Taiwan. You can see how the global economy did not crash, but that it was in a pause situation, where everything was paused. The dream vision also showed me, which is now confirmed, this yellow flu was released. The dream vision was specific here, it was released, and once again. Praise the Almighty God of Israel, because at that stage, even up to this very moment, most of your mainstream media will not discuss it or quickly change topics when discussing the topic. Now for the insights I have had. I was shown earlier in a dream vision in this week, that this thing which is being mandated and given to people to combat the virus is the mark of the beast. It confirms the first dream vision of the channel that this is part of the fall of Babylon. I explained in previous videos how sorcery in Revelations 18 means pharmacology, and we can see that this entire show and operation is being run by pharmaceutical companies. Remember, the Bible tells us Satan deceives the nations. Satan beguiled and lied to Eve in the Bible, promising her eternal life, promising that she could be like a god, and the result was sin and death. We saw how instead of gaining life, she had to lose Abel after being murdered by Cain. We can see that the enemy knows our weaknesses. They promised life, a better life, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and here we are almost 94 weeks later, and all lies, all deceptions, and even now the very elect are being deceived. This is the mark of the beast. It fulfills the first dream vision on the channel, and why I saw the nuclear strike take place. They removed Christianity. When they give this to people, it will cut them off from God. They promised you you would be free. They promised you life and like with even in the garden we will see nothing but death and destruction. The worst part is that Yahweh's children will be cut off from him. Spiritually weak, and the result will be destruction in the coming war. Remember, first the laws were shot in March 2020, and then they will be shelved. This of the new issuing of the passport system and the full implementation of apartheid coming to Europe being fulfilled. They will be shelved when all human rights are taken away and you cannot buy nor sell without having the mark. And then I saw the world war break out and the final destruction of her. I was shown very clearly last night. The Almighty revealed it to me. Most will not believe it, but I had the revelation of the weapon the seer told us that would be in the hands of Germany. The seer did not want his enemies to know about it. I clearly was shown, and you will not believe it. It is an ancient weapon from Israel spoken of in the Old Testament. The item that the Israelites carried, that should anyone touch it they would die. It vanished from history. I saw how it made its way to Europe, how it was hidden, how God had hidden it like in ancient Israel, how it used to protect the Israelites. How it was used in the past will now be manifested in the future with technology to make place for the women in the wilderness in South Africa. The women being the Christian Israelites fleeing what is taking place in Europe. As in the past how it protected the Israelites from the heathen nations, so shall it be used here to clean up as the seer mentioned. It is too marvelous. This was given to ancient Israel for God's purpose, and it fulfills another vision I had of the New World Order ending in South Africa. This just came to me while typing this. That the weapon is used to clean up the New World Order as the seer mentioned. This weapon has been hidden. It was so far beyond its time, and how it has been kept secret is because God has sealed it for the future when it is to be brought out. I saw how it was stored and found in the same location as those other things which are packed in Greece from World War II which he mentioned. Upon discovering this, when I found this out by the most bizarre manner. The Almighty's ways are beyond anything we can imagine. That you have been told the atomic bomb in your history books was developed by the Americans. What you will find if you do thorough research is that the Germans actually 100% created not only the first atomic bomb, but that they had many of them. This weapon from ancient Israel was even far more advanced than those weapons. Let the discerning go to the Old Testament. May the Almighty open your eyes and reveal His glory, that the weapon that the Israelites did not even know was a weapon nor knew how it worked would land up being used in the future. Millennia later, which tells you that South Africa has a special destiny, a special place, and has been ordained by the Almighty that the weapon was given to them. Not for the Israelites but for the future in South Africa. Ponder on these words. The Almighty knows everything, everything to its proper end. Consider this, that weapon was given to ancient Israel, God knowing they would sin and that it would vanish but then later be used by South Africa. Do you think it is a coincidence? No, ladies and gentlemen, the Most High's ways are beyond our comprehension, but you will see when it is unveiled that it will be the most awesome thing you have ever seen. For the technology and the contents were given to ancient Israel, not knowing the full contents of it. Knowing full well it would land up in Germany's hands millennia later and eventually be used in South Africa for God's ultimate glory, for the gathering of Israel unto the wilderness, and for her to be protected from the heathen while Europe is being invaded and World War III rages on. I was shown that the nations of the earth did not sin by us by putting sanctions on us during apartheid, but sinned against the Most High. They put the sanctions on South Africa and Rhodesia in order to usher in the New World Order. In order to roll out this thing being put into people's arms, which is the mark of the beast, which is an abomination in the sight of the Almighty and a sin against the Most High. At the final table, it is Germany and South Africa. America sits there, but her seat will be smaller. She might need a